What if this season of Sister Wives finally gives fans the moment they have been whispering about for months? The kind of moment that could either turn into a complete disaster or shock everyone with unexpected maturity. What if at Christine's request, the two men who have been circling each other like uneasy rivals finally meet face to face? The mere idea is enough to make fans lean closer to their screens because for so long, viewers have watched Christine struggle under Kody's neglect and favoritism, only to rise from that pain and find joy with David. And now the potential for these two men to collide in person is almost too big of a storyline to imagine. For Christine, this is more than just a meeting. It is closure and a message to her children that even though families fracture and even though parents split apart, it is still possible to build a future where respect and boundaries can exist. But let's not underestimate what this means for Kody. A man whose pride has already been wounded as wife after wife has walked away from him, leaving him isolated with only Robyn by his side. The thought of looking into David's eyes, knowing that this man succeeded in being the partner he could not be for Christine, is bound to cut deep. And the real question becomes whether Kody will show up bitter and defensive or try to wear the mask of civility for the sake of appearances. We all know Kody well enough to understand that his temper simmers just beneath the surface. And while he may try to talk about apologies and moving forward, fans have already made it clear that many of his words ring hollow because his actions have caused too much damage to be brushed aside with a few shallow regrets. On the other hand, David has been introduced to fans as the polar opposite of Kody, a man grounded, calm, steady, someone who embraces Christine's happiness without demanding the spotlight. And that contrast is exactly why this meeting holds so much weight. Imagine David walking into that room with a quiet confidence, not needing to prove himself, not needing to puff up his chest or raise his voice, simply being present as the man who has given Christine a second chance at love and stability. The difference between Kody's fiery personality and David's composed energy could not be more striking, and when placed side by side, it will force viewers to truly see the gap between Christine's past and her present. This potential scene is not just about entertainment. It is about emotional payoff after years of buildup, because audiences have rooted for Christine's escape. They have cheered for her victories, and now they want to see what happens when the source of her pain must face the reality of her joy. Social media is already buzzing with theories, with fans predicting heated exchanges, awkward silences, or even a stunningly calm handshake that shocks everyone into silence. Every outcome is possible, and that is why this storyline has so much power heading into season 20. For Christine, the decision to encourage this meeting is brave and calculated. For Kody, it is humiliating and unavoidable. For David, it is a test of patience and character. But above all, for fans, it is the kind of scene that cannot be missed. It is the clash between the old and the new, between broken promises and new beginnings, between pride and peace. That is why the very thought of Christine setting the stage for Kody and David to finally meet feels like a television moment that will be talked about for years. When Kody Brown tells David that she wants him to meet Kody, it is not just a casual suggestion or a simple storyline for the cameras. It is the reflection of a woman who has spent decades silenced and minimized, finally stepping into her full strength and rewriting the narrative of her own life. For years, Christine endured being pushed aside while Kody openly favored Robyn, leaving her to feel unloved and unappreciated, a wife in name only, who carried the weight of raising children in a household where she was constantly reminded that she was not his priority. Fans remember the tears, the moments of heartbreak, and the quiet resignation in her voice when she admitted she no longer wanted to be part of a marriage where her needs and feelings did not matter. That was Christine then. But Christine now is a woman transformed, someone who has tasted freedom and realized that love is supposed to be mutual, respect is supposed to be unconditional, and joy is supposed to be abundant. Her relationship with David has given her the stability and kindness that was missing for so long, and it has allowed her to not only move on, but also to face her past with new clarity. By encouraging David to meet Kody, Christine is signaling that she is no longer afraid of Kody's control, no longer afraid of his judgmental stares or cutting words, no longer willing to shrink herself to avoid conflict. Instead, she is saying that she has nothing to hide, nothing to prove, and everything to celebrate, because the man standing by her side now is living proof that her instincts to leave were right all along. This is also about her children, because Christine knows that in blended families and fractured households, unresolved tensions can spill over into the lives of the kids, and she does not want her children caught in the crossfire of bitterness and silence. By asking David to meet Kody, she is modeling something important: that it is possible to create boundaries and respect even when relationships have ended, that parents can move forward without erasing the past, and that love can heal even the deepest wounds. It is a bold move, because Christine knows that Kody thrives on pride and control, and that putting him in the same room as David could ignite sparks. But she also knows that healing requires confrontation, and this confrontation is long overdue. It is not about rubbing her happiness in Kody's face, though some fans might interpret it that way. It is about taking the sting out of the inevitable. At some point, Kody and David will cross paths, whether at a child wedding, a graduation, or a family event, and Christine wants to remove the fear from that moment by addressing it head-on instead of letting it linger as a shadow in the background. Her courage here cannot be overstated, because this is a woman who once lived in a world where Kody approval was everything, where her worth was measured by how much she could endure, and now she is standing tall saying that she no longer needs his validation. She no longer cares if he accepts or rejects her choices, because she has already chosen herself. Christine's request is a testament to her evolution, from a silenced partner to a confident woman, from a cast-off wife to a beloved wife, from someone surviving day to day to someone thriving in her new life. It is a storyline that resonates deeply with fans because so many viewers have lived their own versions of Christine's journey, staying too long in unhealthy relationships, doubting their worth, and then finally finding the courage to break free and rebuild. Watching Christine not only rebuild but also extend a bridge, however fragile, between her past and present, is the kind of emotional authenticity that keeps people glued to the show. It is a moment that shows Sister Wives is not just about breakups and drama, but about the real human process of healing, forgiveness, and growth. When it comes to Kody Brown, the idea of meeting David is a storm waiting to erupt because Kody is not just any ex-husband. He is a man whose entire sense of identity was built around control, authority, and the belief that his wives should orbit around him like planets circling a sun that refuses to burn out. For years, Kody operated with an inflated sense of self, convinced that his vision of plural marriage was the righteous path, and that his role as the husband of 4 wives gave him an untouchable authority. To have that vision crumble in front of millions of viewers has already been a brutal blow to his ego, but nothing cuts deeper than watching Christine walk away, reclaim her power, and then openly thrive with another man who seems to embody all the qualities that Kody lacks. The mere mention of David's name ignites something in Kody because it represents failure. It represents a wife who refused to play by his rules. It represents the undeniable proof that he was not enough for her and that another man could step in and give her what she had been begging for all along. If Christine is calm, radiant, and secure with David, Kody is agitated, bitter, and defensive because he cannot stand the thought that someone else is now enjoying the life he once dismissed. Kody is a man driven by pride, and pride makes him reactive, unpredictable, and often cruel when he feels cornered. So fans are already speculating that a meeting between him and David would unleash a tidal wave of raw emotions. He might mask it under forced politeness, but viewers know Kody well enough to expect the passive-aggressive comments, the smug justifications, and the attempts to undermine Christine's new life by painting himself as the victim. He has done it before in countless confessionals, where instead of acknowledging his mistakes, he blames his wives for not being obedient enough, for not aligning with his leadership, for not making him feel like the king he believes himself to be. Meeting David would not just be about shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries. It would be about Kody being forced to look directly at the man who is living the life he lost, the man who now sits at Christine's dinner table, the man whose presence makes his absence so glaring. Fans can already imagine the intensity of such a moment, with Kody trying to hold on to his pride, but visibly rattled by the reality that Christine is not pining for him, that she has found love that is healthier, kinder, and more fulfilling. It is not just jealousy, though jealousy plays a huge role. It is also about his crumbling sense of control, because if Christine can walk away and build a better life, then what does that say about the years the wives spent under his leadership? Meeting David would feel like an exposure of Kody's failures as a husband, as a leader, and even as a father, because David's presence highlights what his children have been missing in terms of stability and care. Kody thrives on being the center of attention, and he has often demanded loyalty without truly earning it. But with David in the picture, the spotlight shifts, and Kody is left grappling with irrelevance. He may try to assert dominance, perhaps attempting to intimidate or dismiss David, but such attempts would only expose his insecurity further, because David is not a man who rises to petty conflict. That contrast, Kody volatility against David's steadiness, would be glaring for both the family and the viewers, and it would likely deepen Kody frustration. In the end, Kody's side of this possible meeting is rooted in fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of being replaced, and fear of facing the truth that his reign as the patriarch is over. The cameras may catch him trying to spin the story, but fans would see through it, because they have been watching for years. They know the patterns. They know the excuses, and they know that for Kody, meeting David is not just a storyline, it is a reckoning. It is the moment where Kody must face not only David, but also the reflection of his own shortcomings. And that is a battle he cannot win because the truth speaks louder than his excuses ever could. In the ever-evolving narrative of Sister Wives, a new character, David Woolley has stepped onto the scene, not as a pawn in a game of plural marriage, but as a man deeply in love with Kody Brown. His entry into the picture has brought a refreshing shift in dynamics, a stark contrast to the tumultuous relationships that have defined the show's previous seasons. As the audience witnesses the budding romance between Kody and David, a pressing question arises. How will Kody Brown, Kody's former husband and the patriarch of the polygamist family, react to the man who has captured his wife's heart? The anticipation is palpable as fans eagerly wonder how this meeting between two men from different worlds will unfold. If Kody encourages a meeting between David and Kody, it's likely because she sees David as a calming presence in the midst of a brewing storm. Kody's personality is often characterized by defensiveness and a need to assert dominance, traits that have led to fractures within the family structure. David, on the other hand, represents a steady and soft-spoken demeanor, someone who doesn't thrive on confrontation. In the face of Kody's fiery and pride-driven energy, David stands as a symbol of tranquility. The allure of this potential meeting lies in the dramatic contrast between these two men. Kody, often consumed by his own insecurities, approaches interactions with a guarded and suspicious nature, while David's groundedness and humility make him less threatened by the complexities of the situation. It's this very contrast that draws the audience in, eager to see how two such different personalities will interact. Fans have witnessed glimpses of David's character and see in him a man who is deeply supportive of Kody, someone who values her input and respects her boundaries. This portrayal makes him all the more intriguing as a potential foil to Kody, whose history of emotional manipulation and gaslighting stands in sharp contrast to David's respectful and attentive nature. If the two men were to meet, the clash of their personalities would undoubtedly create a charged atmosphere. However, it's this very tension that makes the scenario so captivating. Kody's defensiveness might escalate, leading to a volatile exchange, while David's calm and patient demeanor could serve as a grounding force. In the grand narrative of Sister Wives, this meeting between David and Kody would be a pivotal moment, a collision of past and present, of old wounds and new beginnings. It would be a testament to how far Kody has come, and the kind of love and respect she deserves, something that Kody, despite being her husband, was unable to provide. As the audience eagerly awaits this potential showdown, they're also aware of the larger implications. It's not just about two men meeting, it's about the evolution of a family, the shifting dynamics and the search for individual happiness amidst the complexities of plural marriage. Hold on to your hats, Sister Wives fans, because the bombshell is about to drop. The mere whisper of a possibility that Kody's new man, David, might meet Kody, the ex-husband she just left, has sent shockwaves through the online world. Social media is buzzing with theories, hopes, and a whole lot of speculation. The Sister Wives audience has been with this family for over a decade, and they know this family better than anyone. They see the power struggles, the manipulation tactics, and the emotional roller coasters, and they are well aware that a meeting between Kody and David could be nothing short of explosive. On platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok, the dream scenarios are already being written. Some imagine Kody storming off in a rage, others picture David calmly shaking his hand and disarming any tension with a few words. But what's most interesting is how the fans seem split between excitement and dread, disbelief and anticipation. Many simply cannot fathom Kody agreeing to sit down with the man who represents Kody's fresh start. They know Kody's ego and control issues too well to believe he would not use such a meeting to try and dominate, humiliate, or manipulate. And that's where the true drama lies, in the unexpected. Fans are already debating whether this meeting will happen at all, with some arguing that Kody's pride would never allow for it, and others insisting that TLC would make it happen if it meant higher ratings. But let's imagine for a moment that it does happen. What would it look like? How would Kody react to seeing Christine happy and moved on? Would he try to win her back or lash out at David? Or perhaps he might surprise us all with a rare display of maturity and grace. The possibilities are endless and the speculation is heating up. One thing is certain, though, the fans are eager to see it play out. This potential meeting is more than just a plot twist. It is a chance for closure, for growth, for transformation. It is a moment that could redefine not just Christine's journey, but the entire narrative of Sister Wives. And as we eagerly await season 20, the anticipation is palpable. Every trailer, every teaser, every subtle hint dropped by TLC adds fuel to the fire. And if this storyline unfolds as even just a rumor suggests, it will be the talk of the town, sparking conversations, debates, and endless theories. In the end, it is not just about Kody and David. It is about Christine and her happiness. It is about her finding love again after a tumultuous journey. It is about her proving that she is not defined by her past or controlled by fear. It is about her walking into the future with her head held high, knowing that she deserves nothing but the best. And if David is by her side through it all, then all the speculation, the drama, and the intrigue simply fade away. All that remains is the hope for her enduring happiness. Now, before we wrap up this captivating discussion, let us take a moment to appreciate your presence here. If you have made it this far into the video, chances are you are as invested in this storyline as we are. So thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Your views and opinions matter, so please do not hesitate to share them with us. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest updates.